Thank you all. As we celebrate the start of our famous Food and Wine Festival, focusing on Australian cuisine and Australian wines. A very special welcome goes to Her Excellency Susan Coles, Australian High Commissioner to Australia. Thank you for your support. This year's festival promises to be the most exciting yet. Australian chef Chris Taylor, as well as our chef Nizam have created a culinary experience which I think Australia would be proud of. Chef Chris Taylor has handpicked and flown over ingredients from Australia to capture the true essence of its cuisine. It promises to be an exciting week of traditional music, and we've had a bit of a taste of it this morning from Van Magellan. As well, this year we're delighted to welcome our man Heath Ferguson. He's internationally famous for the didgeridoo. He's a well-known actor and performer and part-time comedian. He's going to be here every day this week to entertain you, as well as to give you an opportunity to play around with the didgeridoo, and he's going to teach you how to blow. So welcome to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so the promotion kicks off tomorrow, featuring both the Rose Levant and the Skull Restaurant. The Skull Restaurant is going to have a buffet of culinary flavours from Australia for both lunch and dinner for 950 rupees. While the Rose Levant will be taking you on a 6-course journey paired with wines under the guidance to enhance the experience by Christina Smith, the winemaker from Australia. So on behalf of Labourdonnais Waterfront Hotel, we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to our partners, Mauritius, Austral Fisheries, Gourmet Emporium, Scott, RBL Brand Active, Fraser Bank, and the Sentinel, and of course with the support of the Australian High Commission to bring Australia to Mauritius. So thank you very much. It's given me great pleasure to introduce to you High Commissioner Susan Coles.
Thank you very much, Warren. Of course, I'm delighted to be here today to be launching our 2015 Australia Week in Mauritius Festival at the Labourdonnais Waterfront Hotel in the presence of our sponsors and members of the media and our special guests who are joining us here from Australia. The Australian High Commission has a tradition of organising Australian festivals, as we see these as a great way to promote a better understanding of Australia and all that it has to offer, and to promote that here in Mauritius, as well as highlighting the relationship that we share and the many areas in which we cooperate, whether it's in importing our food products, our wine products, letting our musicians come to visit, or sending Mauritians on their way to study in Australia, and we have an enormous number of Mauritians who go to Australia to study. We just feel that this relationship is one that goes from strength to strength, and we're sure that this sort of promotion is just going to add to that relationship and strengthen those bonds of friendship and cultural interaction that we enjoy. There are at least 30,000 Mauritians or people of Mauritian ancestry in Australia, and Mauritius is our largest source of students from the African region. And currently we think there's around 2,000 Mauritian students studying in Australia. Many of their families go to visit them, parents go to check on how they're getting on and make sure that they're studying hard. And when those students come back, they form the basis of our growing Australian Alumni Association, which we've set up and relaunched recently, and which is a basis for many of our really rich interactions, which continue after studies and when people are back here living and working in Mauritius. We're collaborating now with Mauritius in quite a number of areas, from, as I say, trade and things like fisheries and food and wine, through to maritime security, search and rescue operations, education, which I've mentioned, disaster risk management, and health, and even prison reform. So these are just some of the many areas that Australia is working every day with Mauritius, based on that very strong relationship that we enjoy. Well, there'll be quite a number of activities happening over the next 9 or 10 days. We've heard about the Food and Wine Festival from the Food and Beverage Manager here at Labourdonnais. We'll be having a concert with our trio Magellan, our classical music trio, who are here with us from Western Australia. We couldn't quite fit the grand piano into the room, but they here is going to be playing some wonderful piano, and that concert takes place tomorrow evening at the Conservatoire François Mitterrand, with whom we've been working, a concert at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening to enjoy some classical music. We also have our Indigenous didgeridoo player, Heath Ferguson, also from Western Australia. He'll be giving a free public performance at Cascavell Shopping Village on Saturday morning at 11:30. So bring your friends and family and the kids. Everybody loves to see the didgeridoo, how it's played, how it works. So do come along to that. And then, of course, he's going to be playing throughout the week next week as people sit and enjoy their Australian food and wine downstairs. They'll be doing so to the strains of the didgeridoo, and we'll also have some performances by our musicians throughout the week as well. We're also going to be having education promotion all day Tuesday here at the Labourdonnais to tell Mauritians about the opportunities to undertake higher education studies in Australia in fields as diverse as law, accounting, but also some of those newer areas like oceanographic studies and science that are really going to help Mauritius develop its ocean economy. And at the end of that day, we're going to have our wonderful Australian author, Robin Nelson, speak at one of our alumni functions, talking about her book, which is a fascinating account of how her family have traced their family tree and their family roots in Australia to find that not only do they have Indigenous Aboriginal heritage, but Mauritian and Indian heritage. So that's the perfect example of the coming together of Australian and Mauritian culture over the generations. So that book is going to be the subject of discussion both on Tuesday and later in the week at an event in collaboration with the University of Mauritius. There are more details on our website of all these events. Mustn't forget film. Everybody loves a good Australian movie. And on Wednesday night at the Charles Telfer Institute, with whom we've been working, you'll be able to see Heath perform the didgeridoo, drink some Australian wine, and enjoy the movie Brand New Day, which has stars including Geoffrey Rush. Heath himself did play in the on-stage musical version of that, and I think we're going to be really enjoying the film evening together on Wednesday night, the public talk on Tuesday, and ending off the week with a happy hour at Le Suffren, just across the water there on Friday night, where everyone can have a final toast to Australia Week with a glass of Australian wine. But all the details are available on the High Commission website, and as you can see, it's an excellent range of activities. We are very much indebted to our fabulous sponsors, without whom a festival like this wouldn't happen. We want to thank, at this point, Afrasia Bank. We have Air Mauritius, Labourdonnais Waterfront Hotel, Austral Fisheries, the Gourmet Emporium, IBL Brand Active and Scott & Co for the wonderful Australian wine, ABC Motors, particularly their new Infinity range, Les Moulins de la Concorde, La Sentinelle, PR Professionals, Atayo, the Conservatoire François Mitterrand, and the Charles Telfer Institute. So we thank all those partners with whom this exciting week just couldn't happen. We thank the mention of our guests, the Magellan Trio, Margaret Blaze, Yanis Laws and Faith Madwell. We have Heath here, our author Robin Nelson, Australian winemaker from my home state of South Australia, Chris Smith, which is where many of our fantastic wines, in particular our great reds, come from. And Chef Chris Taylor from Fraser's Restaurant in Perth, Australia. He's no stranger to Mauritius. He's been here before, and he just can't resist coming back to help us with another one of our festivals. So, as I say, we're going to have a really exciting week. We're also very excited today to be launching our very own Facebook page for the High Commission here in Mauritius. This is a way that we're going to keep in touch with all of the people who might be interested in Australian festivals like this one, other events that we have, visits, find out about study in Australia, find out about how we work with our partners here in Mauritius. So we're going to be using that as a tool now to keep in touch with all of you, not just about this event, but about events into the future. So perhaps on that note, I can just say again, thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to the fabulous team at the High Commission, particularly Yasmina Hosanu, who's been working very hard to make
I just want to, if I just quickly, I think first of all thank Nizam is here from the Labourdonnais Hotel, and I'd just like to thank him and his team. It's always great to come back here. I've got to be honest with you, the kitchens are just spotless and organised, and it's just a real pleasure to work there. And obviously also to Emmanuel for helping us out. The Gourmet Emporium is just, it makes life easy bringing all this produce in. What's really important for us to get across, and obviously something that I'm very proud of, is you go through the cool rooms here, already the major hotels around this island. Yeah, it's all Australian beef. It's all generally West Australian lamb. There's a box I just looked downstairs before from WAMCO, which is West Australian Meat Marketing Corporation. And when you see those the meat products there, and now it's, I think it's pretty exciting when you see Glacier 51 toothfish come in. You haven't tried toothfish, you're in for something special. It's flaky, seriously good for you, big oil content. It is fish from the southern oceans, really cold water, and when you see that come into the hotels of this sort of nature throughout the island, it's going to be, I think, pretty special. Some fantastic prawns that come in from the Gulf area. The good thing with Australia, we obviously have a great coastline, and obviously internal. The coastline produces some of the from our shellfish to our lionfish is just very, very unique. So we've got, what else we've got here? The other thing with the beef, it's pretty important to remember, we obviously just don't have, Wagyu. Wagyu's all the rage in the kitchen. I'm sure you've all tried it. It tends to be very top end. Yes, we do have that, but there's also black Angus, and we've brought in some short ribs, some sirloins, some tenderloins, and it's just that's just I think is once again showcase our ability to export some really good top produce. And lastly, I'd like to thank the pastry chef, because he has put together some seriously good pastries. If you don't try them, there'll be something wrong with you. And obviously some really nice air-dried beef there, some tunas, some salmon from Tasmania. So I'd just like to thank once again everyone for turning out today. It's pretty warm in here. To try some of this, and obviously try some of the wines. It's, if you get the opportunity over the next week to do that, I think you'll all enjoy it immensely. So thank you to the Australian High Commission for putting it on. Always a great effort, and congratulations. Cheers.